Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to the Unblinded Huddle, the #1 place to start your day with a daily dose of integrity-based human influence. My name's Fernando, and today is Why Wednesday. And I'm excited to be spending some time here with you as we set up, gear, get up and get ready. Sorry for a little rattling that you might hear in the background. So for everyone out there, what's happening? It's Why Wednesday. And we are just coming off an amazing mastery call, probably, top 10 in mastery call history. Just amazing shares, breakthroughs. Emmanuel, I'm here in New Jersey. Jay Levine's team is just absolutely crushing in the world of real estate. Gina doing amazing things with Susan Hum, creating stages and microphones for those that are looking to grow in personal development and find a soulmate. We had Richard Martin truly stepping in to his leadership and sharing his voice, which is absolutely incredible. So that's what's present for me on this Why Wednesday, is the growth of all of you, of this movement. So howdy doody, what's up, how you doing? To all our new members, thank you for being here. And for everyone that's been here for a while, grateful to be sharing this experience with you. So as we reflect and anchor and get here on Why Wednesday, what's your why today? What is the driving force? And that could be a huge question. So in the chat, let's encapsulate in one word. Let's begin to share our energy. We do this daily. We anchor here. We share what we're present to, and we step into conversations about mastery. So on this Why Wednesday, let's discuss your why. Every time I come in here on this exact same call and I say Why Wednesday, there's just energy and feeling, which is absolutely beautiful. So for everyone out there, good morning, great rising, good night, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. What is your why in one word? Drop it in the chat. Let's put it in there together. Let's begin to share our thoughts, our energies. We have Dimple, why is love. We have Martha going with self-healing. Gina Ritchie with love again. Susan Hum, there's love everywhere, love for family. We have Karen, powering others. We have Stars Tina, that's an awesome name, happiness. We have Karen with service. Susan Hum, love for people. Richard Armstrong, freedom. We have Jack, my why is helping people protect the financial world. Erica, gratitude. Levine, why? Why not? Rock star to you, brother. Tony Rodriguez, impact, love, hope, healing. Josephine, help, encouraging others. So we have humanitarian efforts. We have Matthew with freedom again. We have Dr. Michelle Gamble, mothers are crying. So all of you, just amazing type of humans that we have here today that we're sharing these calls with. Freedom, joy, freedom for family. So many of you out there, just incredible energy. Gratitude, Mr. Orange back in the house, amazing coaching call on our mastery call yesterday. Frank is truly stepping in as Mr. Orange. He already is, and we're talking about expanding in that world. So loving the growth, loving the passion, loving the movement, and let's hop in. So as we discuss, let's stay here. We're on Why Wednesday, and I don't believe the story's been shared. So, there's a lot of, everyone, different books. Simon Sinek, wrote it, and other dynamics is begin with why. Find your why. And a lot of us are searching, always searching. It is a process, an evolution. So as we step into, different dynamics, why being one of the 10 data points in self-mastery. So we're in self-mastery again. Yesterday, we were on journaling, subsection of the formula. Today, we're in the subsection of why. So as we begin with the conversations of why, let's discuss it through the prism of the formula. So I don't believe Sean and I have had this conversation, but it's very clear what Sean's why is, and it's very powerful. And I love it when he shares. It is truly God spoken, and he is here to serve humanity at just such a beautiful level. And the question is, what is the process mastery for the discovery of the why? And, please, as you listen to this, I understand there's a linear and there's a curve. There's a science, there's an art. I'm very present to those dynamics, the yin and the yang, however we would want to describe that. Through the prism of process mastery structure, I remember the creation of my why. and my story is different. And I want to like just share a framework that might create something possible. It doesn't have to be the same framework, not claiming it's the best framework, simply saying there's a framework, there's a potential, and you can create a framework for your thinking, for your thoughts, for your emotions, for everything through the prism of the formula. So in creating Why, what I did is that I took a 4-day vacation to an Airbnb that in the 25-mile radius had nothing but wilderness, hiking trails, and nature. And that was a dynamic and energy that really creates creativity and peace for Fernando. So that's where I went. And I remember I bought poster board, giant poster boards, I would say 20 by 30, and a pack of colored pencils with no idea what I was gonna do with them. For some reason, I just wanted to buy them. And I said I was gonna like just write or draw, even though I'm not an artist, and I brought them with me. And through the experience of being there, I had a moment where I took all the poster board and I taped them to the wall. I taped them all to the wall. There was maybe 12, 14 pieces. And I asked the question. I said, who is Fernando Valencia? And I wrote it and I began to write. And when I say write, I'm talking like a lunatic. I'm talking hardcore writing, scratching, answering, just whatever came through stream of consciousness. I took breaks because I was so tired of writing, did it again until I felt completely empty, wrote it out. And I ended up filling every single inch of those poster boards. And as I looked, there were so many thoughts there. And I had never done this process in my life. I believe I was 23. I am 28 now. And in that process, it was incredible to be able to visually see, I have that, that opportunity to visually see my thoughts out there. And from there, I began to consolidate. And I took 12 pages to 10, 10 to 8, 8 to 6. And through that process, I began to categorize in body, mind, and spirit. And I began to be able to separate them. And as I took from 6 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1, I had a piece. I had one poster board with one ungrammatically correct paragraph. And from there, I took it digitally, edited it, and now it became there and it's present. So I'll pause there. Sean, welcome to the Huddle. And what's happening with you, sir?
Good morning, everybody. Happy Why Wednesday. What's cooking with you, Fernando?
I was sharing a story, actually. We were in the subsection of self-mastery, which is Why, which is data point number 1 of 10. Yesterday, we spoke about journaling, and today we were talking about Why. And I was sharing an experience and a process I used to write mine over time.
Awesome. And when you think of Why, everybody, how often do you connect with your Why? Because Fernando, what do you think Why is designed to overcome? Like, what stops our self-mastery? Like, what's the impediment that slows us, stops us? Like, what is the only reason people don't take action? It's one word. One word. What's that word?
I'm gonna go with fear.
Fear. Yes. It's the only thing that stops us. Fear. So our Why, how does our Why relate to forwarding action, dealing with fear, Fernando?
How does our Why deal with forwarding action and going through fear? It is so my answer would be, our answer would be through when fear arises and we're connected to our Why and we understand that we're doing something larger than us and, things are at play. We can have that future focus to allow us to be present in what we're doing today. Pause.
Yeah. So what are, for you out there, unblinded ecosystem, and thank you so much for being here again. What fear is stopping you? It breaks into simply 2 categories: fear of failure, fear of rejection. And a key thing that we miss in the fear of failure, which I've been sharing a bunch about, is the fear of wasting our time. So some people, it's like rejection, people are gonna say no, and that's present for everybody. And that's more present for some than others. But the other key dynamic is the fear of making a mistake, saying yes. So Fernando, where historically have you seen the fear of failure show up for you in terms of wasting your time? Just start listing things so we can make it present for people, and I'll start listing some.
Okay, so when was it present for me? It was present for me in my first business endeavor in the event industry. It was present.
I'm going to make you a bet. It was present for you in the last 24 hours. I'm going to make you a bet,
Yeah.
everybody. The fear of failure and fear of wasting your time was present for you in the last 24 hours. And for most of us, we've probably experienced it already today. Already today. So Fernando, let's drop in and give optics on that for people so we could get into a deeper understanding of our why and how it fuels us, our self-mastery, raising our self-awareness. Like self-awareness is the first key dynamic to self-mastery. So like just being present to the reality of how we function. Because I believe most people are unconscious to how they actually function. I am far from perfect, right? But I am aware of how unaware I am, even though I think I'm aware, right? Like I'm aware that we have blind spots all over the place. Me, you, all of us, right? And as I was sharing, yesterday, today, and Tony Robbins helped me see those things and break through. And I thank him for his vulnerability as he confronted himself on the same things. Like Tony Robbins, everybody has the same dynamic of having an opportunity for growth, having blind spots, different things and dynamics. So Fernando, for you, last 24 hours, where would you say you had a fear of failure defined as wasting time, money, or energy, right, on something?
Yeah, I would, vulnerably share that, yeah, within the last 24 hours today, those, thoughts spike, doubting, is this the right zone action? Is this the best move? Is everyone aligned? So multiple dynamics at all times. They spike and they create, and emotions rise. And
yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
My final sentence was, and it's through self-mastery, why and other dynamics that allows those things to appear and us to run through or feel them at times. Sometimes I want to feel them.
Yeah. And what happens when we start to have fear that this isn't going to work? What does it do to our action?
It slows down our action. We distract ourselves with strategic thinking versus tactical execution. And it creates suboptimal value chain breakdown when we're not aligned.
Yeah. And so in case you're new to the huddle, you're like, wow, these are a lot of words. Like, what are we talking about? We're talking very simply about this. Like, who your optimal client is. You know who your optimal client is. You know who your optimal ecosystem partner is. And the only thing stopping you from a sequential process of going from hello to yes with them is fear. Fear of rejection, fear of failure. And our why, if used effectively, is what overcomes it. Our why is what overcomes it. So, Fernando, when I say that, can you explain to people how that would keep you moving forward when you're having a fear of failure or fear of rejection?
Yeah. So thank you for the question. This is like live and happening and on the morning huddle. So when doubt begins to appear and I begin to doubt time, which is, I love that distinction. Fear, rejection, I would say time, probably a giant driver. And as I practice stoicism and, I contemplate on mortality, it's, something that I'm very conscious and aware of and work on diligently. And when doubt of time appears, I begin to, I sit in it sometimes longer than others, for the most time, very short bursts. And, we're back in. And it is an anchoring, and what peopleification is happening. I see it before my eyes. Every day that I speak to a human, I'm truly stepping up, putting on my armor, and rewriting humanity. And I feel it and I see it in the hearing of my language and my seeing of the growth in this movement. I see it happening. So when waste of time and doubt becomes available, it is anchoring in like why I'm doing this all anyway, that breakthrough in self-mastery and just a reignition. Sometimes it sucks. Like last week it sucked. Last week my self-mastery was not fully present. It cracked multiple times. And I did my best to like hibernate, think, and process. And there was no hiding self-mastery breakdown.
At the core, when you were experiencing that last week, which I experienced some of that last week as well, what at the core was the fear? Like your fear was what? Was it rejection or failure? Or both?
What resonates the most with me is waste of time.
Yeah, that's failure, right?
Failure.
Meaning you're going to spend time, this is a survey's getting it, doing something that's not going to work. So that's fear of failure, right?
Yes.
Failure includes the wasting of time, money, or energy, like to not get the results. It's not like when we say fear of failure, just bring this present, this like why Wednesday for everybody. We're not just talking about like, you didn't get the big account, you didn't win the big game, that you're getting divorced. Like, yeah, those could, and by the way, I don't think like, and we're going to give you something about failure in a second to like reframe this. But yes, those are very common ways people would think about failure. The way I am present to people's inaction, not booking, speaking, not calling people, not filling a 10 by 10, not filling a real raw, not filling your strategic alliances, AKA ecosystem mergers, well, but it's even richer, where you're not calling and booking yourself, following up on your client meetings. All of those things are all fear of failure with some fear of rejection mixed in. And again, like the micro distinction of fear of failure is like, this isn't working. And so what we do is what we need to, we have the opportunity to be present to, I offer you, right? Is the balancing where horizontal innovation comes in. We stop doing this thing to start doing that thing. And then we come up against the same fear of failure. And then we bounce and do the next thing. Come up against the same fear of failure, we bounce again. Come to the same fear of failure, bounce again, right? So we're not making the acceleration. And by the way, some people do this once they get to making $10 million a year, but they can't get to 20, right? Some people do it at $50,000 a year and can't get to 100 and everywhere in between, right? So it's committing to a process and following through. We had fun last night with some awesome people in Mastery. And it's like, hey, what's the answer to this? I was like, I don't know. I have no idea. And what that says to me, ready, is, and this goes back to people saying, oh, it takes too much time. This takes too, like about different things in the past. Whenever we're saying that, what we're really saying is, I don't think this is going to pay off and do anything for me. Right. And what is also present is the reality. If we keep doing the exact same thing we've been doing, we're never going to get anywhere. And we're never going to be getting to our ultimate vision of our life, which is to meet and be fulfilling our why consistently. So in this Why Wednesday, with great empathy, complete love, heart-centeredness, it's just to remember that our why is what moves us through our fear of failure, rejection, and not to be reevaluating it all the time. Here's the key. Create your process mastery. I'm going to do this. I'm going to time block this, right? And commit to it and follow through consistently with small innovations. Like as we're building the Real Raw, right? And we're building the company, there's things I'm doing today that I'm not going to be doing in 3, 6, 9, 12 months. But I've gone through enough business building that I understand I'm going to do functions today that are like, if I could wave a magic wand and have somebody else do them today, it would be better for the business, but I can't yet. So I understand that I'm going to do them now. Like when I first started, I'm going to do them now. And then later I won't be doing them. When I first started doing work and building Caliggy Law, and I realized that we could help doctors recover money for in medical situations, right? I was in basements in Paterson, New Jersey, looking for files, true story, with rats in the basement. And I'm like, I went to law school to be in a wet, damp, disgusting basement with rats in it. So I could go looking at travel cards. There was no electronic digital records. It was like people writing stuff on these things. And I'm like, I have like a flashlight. It's a true story. And that's what it looked like in the beginning, but I knew it's not going to stay this way, because if this works, then eventually I'm going to have somebody else doing this. But I got myself, I had fear of failure everywhere. Like, oh my God, what am I doing? It's crazy. Like, and if I would talk to like my friends or family, they already told me that this is like dumb, that there's no money in this business and recovering medical money for doctors. And like, why'd you quit your job at the big firm? Like all these things are like around me. And I was like, oh, like tune it out and know what I'm doing. This is going to be built. I will build this. I will replace myself. And now that business exists. I'm a business owner. It's beautiful, phenomenal, and it can be expanded massively. And that's something that I'm present to as well, and putting things in place to do that, right? But none of that happens if I'm not connected to my why. None of it happens. And my why at that time, was to be an example of possibility to my son, to be an example of possibility to my son, who is just on the way, who's even born yet. And I wanted to be an example of possibility. I wanted to teach him and share with him that truly he could tune out all the noise. He could live an extraordinary life and move to the beat of his own drum, not follow the herd. He could lead, not follow, as Tony Robbins would say, create, not destroy, believe, not doubt, be a force for good, and step up, step up, step up. Right? And that's our choice. And our fear of failure is going to lie to us. And I'll leave you with this for today. There's nothing final enough, ever, nothing complete enough, ever, to equal failure. I believe that. I have reframed my life that way. I don't experience failure. I truly don't. Because I understand that nothing is final enough. And I will innovate, and I will innovate, and I will find a way to get to my vision, to get to my destiny, and I will find the people to do it with. And they will receive immense benefit and love their life because of it. And then we'll go to like Christmas parties with 700 people and reindeer, and like have pianos with smoke flying out of them. And people have an amazing time. And then I will sit in my executive creation decision making in the morning, reflecting upon that, reflecting upon when people told me I couldn't, it would never happen, reflecting upon the moments when I was in Grand Cayman and took my entire law firm, reflecting on being there with my grandmother, with her feet in the Caribbean, that we carried her wheelchair down 7 Mile Beach in Grand Cayman. But more importantly, she was watching her great-grandchildren play together, and her grandson, who she sacrificed for, me, providing all this for everyone, living the life lessons she taught. And so, yeah, I'm not perfect, but I'm an example of possibility to my son, as I believed I would be. And I evolved my why to say, I'm going to expand and use my talents. I will not bury them. I will not hide them. I will let nothing cause me to bury them. Nothing. Nobody's disbelief, nobody's distortions, nobody's lies, nobody's ego coming in. I will let none of that stop me in my life. I will let nobody rock my certainty and my awareness of what is true, and I will evaluate all of it egolessly. Because then and only then will I expand and live my purpose, my why. I love you. Live your why. Make sure your why is big enough, and keep asking why. If you can't get to it, ask why 5 times. It's in the modules. Go deeper. Why? And when you begin to feel emotional, ask it again. And when tears are welling up in your eyes, then you have it. But you need to call upon it daily. Daily. You need to call upon it multiple times per day, because our nervous system is not conditioned to succeed. We can make it more and more healthy, but Oprah will have fear of failure today. Sylvester Stallone spoke to us Saturday night at Tony Robbins' house via Zoom Live, and he talked about his own fear of failure right now in writing a new script. And he didn't want to tell us because maybe it won't work. That literally happened with Sylvester Stallone. Like, it's what is life. But he's going forward anyway, because he's a master at mastering himself. Love all you guys. Fernando, love you. I'm so proud of you. Have an awesome day, brother, and everybody.